What's up, everybody? It's not Monday, it's Thursday, but you are watching the KSR Happy Hour presented by Country Boy Brewing. I am Tyler Thompson. I'll be your host today, and it's Kentucky football game week. So we brought in KSR's football guys, Nick Roush and Adam Luckett, who are spending their billionth minute this week talking about football. So we appreciate them joining me on this fantastic college football kickoff Thursday. Guys, are you ready to enjoy some Country Boy Brew?
Yeah, I'm coming off an ailment.
That's true. You've been on the IR.
So. Right. So, like, there's part of me that's like, Nick, you don't need to be drinking beers on a Thursday. But there's other part of me that's like, there's a game kicking off at 5:30. Like, come on.
There's 17 games tonight. 17 games.
We got to get locked in. There's so many games. We got to be ready to rock and roll. So I don't know about you, Luckett, but I'm fired up. And no offense to everybody watching and listening, but I'm just I want to get this over with so we can go watch the ball. It starts early. I'm not used to a 5:30, 6 o'clock kickoff. Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, Luckett, are you able to drink now? I know you just had your procedure done this week. Are you cleaning the sockets and?
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. I'm texting my wife like now. I don't can I eat macaroni? Can I not? Like, what am I supposed to, is there do I call in and ask for approval? I don't know. So sure.
Why not? Everybody who's watching at home, Luckett had his wisdom teeth taken out on Monday. So he's navigating the wonderful world of soft foods. So how many mashed potato helpings and ice cream and pudding? I'm trying to remember what I ate when I had my wisdom teeth taken out. What's been your menu?
Yeah, I mean, your mashed potatoes and chocolate pudding, essentially.
That doesn't sound bad.
I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich yesterday, so that was nice.
During the Middle Ages, the monks in Germany would brew a beer, and they would fast during Lent, and they would just drink the beer as their source of wellness. So I think you're clear to drink some Country Boy, Mr. Luckett. I think that can nourish you in your liquid diet.
Yeah, that sounds like logic.
Go
to the guys who wouldn't eat and would just drink for 40 days. So yeah, that's who I need to be following.
I've been on a liquid diet before of just beer, and nothing ever went wrong then. So why not now?
It's not a solid food. It's not like you have to chew it. I mean, I think you're safe. I'm having a beer that's pretty appropriate for the weather because it still kind of feels like fall outside. So the last Country Boy beer in my fridge is Shotgun Wedding, a brown ale aged on vanilla beans. So I'm very excited. I just need a fire pit going and some leaves and some chili, and I'm ready to roll.
Oh man, chili. That could be a part of your diet, Luckett. I think you can manage that. That's soft enough. And chili's a great football food. We get some not great football games, but it does make me. I hate that the NFL has commandeered Thursday nights from college football, and we'll still get some, and it's usually in the lower ranks, but Thursday night college football games used to really rock, 2010-ish era. That was a lot of fun. The NFL's taken over it some, but I'm glad for tonight we've got a full slate to be able to get us rolling, get us feeling back because 5 straight days. This is one of your favorite weekends of the year, Luckett.
Well, the favorite. Yes, 5 straight. This was in my corporate days where I would take Friday off so I could stay up late and enjoy these games on Thursday and then do it again on Friday. So yeah, definitely real excited to have it back. It just feels good. And now we're back in a routine. Feels normal.
I missed the routine game week. I really missed it. You have press conferences Mondays, Bush Hampton talking on Tuesdays, Brad White on Wednesdays. You got all your normal little game week posts. So I'm here for the routine, but continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, just, you don't have to think about it. It's just busy. You do what needs to be done, and then your day's over, and you go on to the next thing. So it's nice to have the routine back.
Yeah, and like we said, there are 17 games tonight. There's an SEC game. So Missouri hosts Central Arkansas. We have a top 25 game, number 25 Boise State at South Florida. And we have Dane Key. Nebraska plays Cincinnati at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. That is crazy. So I didn't give Steven the clip, but I was looking at how they painted the end zones at Arrowhead, and like Cincinnati's looks great. It's in all white letters. It looks really good. Then they pan over to Nebraska's end zone. It looks terrible. It's in red letters. You can barely read it. Like, I feel kind of bad for them.
On On3's top 10 on the front page, I saw that they messed it up. Is that like Nick? Is that one of the Nebraska omens? Like, here we go.
It doesn't it feel like something Shane Beamer would assign the field staff to do on purpose so he could say disrespect? I mean, it feels a little ridiculous how up in arms they are over it, but I love it because people are really believing that year 3 for Matt Rule, it's going to work. But that game is one of many that I feel like could create chaos. Like, we go into this opening week and you have a feeling for how things are going to go. But it's a roll of the dice, right? Like, you never know what's going to happen. So my question for you all, which of these games this weekend is the most likely for us to say on Tuesday when everybody gets back to work, what the hell was that? Where did that come from? What's the most likely chaos game that has everybody's head spinning this weekend?
Hopefully not Kentucky versus Toledo, please. Like, there are already some people like calling for the upset and whatever. I don't know. Like, I think tonight I'll watch just because there are some interesting games on, and plus it's college football's back, so I'm excited about that. I really wish Kentucky-Toledo wasn't at basically the same time as Ohio State and Texas, because I would like to be able to devote some serious attention to that. But let me pull up the schedule. I mean, it's pretty packed kind of throughout. I think I read it's like one of the most loaded week 1 schedules ever. But while I'm looking at that, Luckett, what's your pick?
Yeah, I would say we talked about this on Pigskin Preview, Nick, but Notre Dame, Miami, the Sunday night, it feels like that game always delivers in one way or another. I would say NC State is hosting East Carolina tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And those two fan bases despise each other. These two teams played in a bowl game last year, and there was like a brawl after the game. So, like, odds are high that that game is filled with some type of shenanigans.
Was NC State the other side when we were sitting next door to KS Bar watching you sweat out a bunch of missed field goals by East Carolina?
That was on, but but you're thinking of I think you're thinking of North Carolina App State.
Okay.
I think those games were on at the same time. Yes.
Some about the North Carolina schools, they're always involved in some sort of chaos. That
was week 1 of Pat. I think that was 2022 week 1. I think we were at the KS Bar was packed.
Yeah.
I think we went over to the Kilt. And I think that's where we watched that absolute shootout between Drake May, North Carolina, and that App State team.
We've got Virginia Tech, South Carolina on a Sunday afternoon. That's kind of fun. Yeah. Cheer against Shane Beamer if you want the Beamer Bowl.
that one and the other game in Atlanta, Syracuse and Tennessee. I know Tennessee fans, they think they're God's gift to football, but like both teams went through a lot of turnover, and I got a lot of respect for Fran Brown. I mean, it's a 2-touchdown point spread. That feels like one where we could be going in the fourth quarter and Tennessee fans are going to have to sweat out. So I think both games in Atlanta, even though they're big numbers, have potential to create a little bit of chaos this Labor Day weekend.
So you guys mentioned KS Bar and being there or being up in the office when games are going on. KS Bar is back open. We're very excited. That kind of takes me to my next topic. What's your game day routine? So obviously ours include a lot of work. Mm-hmm. So 12:45 or let's say a noon kickoff. What are Adam and Nick and Steven? What time are we getting to Kroger Field? Are we stopping by a certain tailgate? Maybe having a certain Country Board beer before we go in? Give us your schedule.
The nooners are the hard one because like a night game, you kind of got time to get your feet under you. You take a shower, you throw on Grove Street, drink the pot of coffee, watch game day. So you got a little bit more room. the noon's tough because you got to like grab something quick and get out the door in a hurry. Luckett's going to be on the pregame show, so he's got
nice breaking some news
earlier morning. But a lot of it for me is just I like to get inside the stadium about an hour early and like put all my stuff down, see if the food is worth eating. If it is, I'll eat. If not, then I'll go out and kind of meander around. But I like to. I'm a social butterfly. What can I say? But there is like 30 minutes before kickoff where I just kind of shut my brain off and I don't really talk to anybody and I just kind of get locked in. That's when it's go time. It's time to get ready to rock and roll. So a lot of it, I will say one thing I need to include in this year's ritual. Dylan Ballard's family apparently has a rockin' tailgate, and I was told they have brisket breakfast tacos this weekend. So I might have to make a stop over there before we head up to the press box at Kroger Field.
That sounds awesome. So Adam, in my mind, you wake up at like 6 o'clock on a Saturday morning. You go to your office where you have like 17 monitors set up. Like, give us the day, the game day, and Luckett's life.
Well, first thing I think I texted my wife this morning after I got back from dropping off the kids at daycare was like, I'm going to the basement tonight as soon as I get the kids to bed. Going to the basement, 3 TVs, I can't wait. For me, I think an important part of these Saturdays is like, you don't really get to sit and watch games ever with this job. Yeah. So I try to carve out a time to do that each Saturday. We work a game. Mm-hmm. So for a noon game, like, you're out of the house early, you're just kind of there, and then you go to the game, and then you come home. You get the night, like we get home in time for the night slate, essentially.
This means Luckett's already texted his wife and said, I'm stopping at Roosters on the way home Saturday.
Sometimes if I do enough during the week, I can sneak out and go to Roosters for a beer and watch a half. Or like if it's a later game, like you'll try to set it up where you can at least watch the noon window, or we'll get there early enough where we can go to like KSR and just watch some games, or at least. So to me, I try to carve out time to just actually get to sit down and watch some games.
That's why we love a noon game, or I do at least. I mean, me not going to as many games as you guys, my routine's a little different. It's wake up, turn on the pregame show. If I have time, go for a run, sit down at the computer, get up 6-8 hours later, try and figure out dinner, like take care of the dog, and that's about it. But I mean, there's nothing better than just 5 straight days of football, and I'm so happy we're here. And I'm so happy our game kicks off at 12:45 p.m. It's a weird time, but at least like we'll get to see the very start of Ohio State, Texas. Mm-hmm. Like we'll get to see the Lee Corso thing. We'll talk about Lee Corso in a little bit. But we'll get a little bit of the taste of the pageantry before kind of locking into Kentucky versus Toledo.
And terrific weather, and we were due all of this after the shenanigans last year.
Oh my God!
After the week 1 shenanigans last year.
That game did not kick off until 10:05 p.m. Eastern time. I did an article this week where I recapped all the season openers of the Mark Stoops era, and there were some crazy ones. But I don't know where that was coming from, but it was awesome.
Old school ESPN college football intro music.
Yes. But going back looking at that, it was awful, man. 10 o'clock start, play suspended in the third quarter. What a weird night.
The one thing that was...
Then I hit a deer on the way home.
Yeah.
2 deer. So all kinds of fun.
The one like sort of silver lining from our perspective was we didn't really know what was happening. And then Cole Kubelik hopped on a rapid reaction.
Yeah.
And then once it was time for post game, they were like, everybody just wants to get out of here. So we're not going to give you all like, here's 2 people talking, go home. And it was like, well, I guess less work for us. I'll just mosey on out of here. It's about the normal time anyway. But it did. I don't know if I've ever laughed harder in the press box than seeing somebody tweet out photos of Peak just lying like face first down on the turf.
I remember that now.
Not the turf, it was the concrete. The concrete, the concrete they have outside of the the grass in the stadium. It was just.
Oh man,
we should have known then. That it was all
And then week 2, we couldn't meet up at our normal meetup spot because of construction. So we meet at the outlet mall in Simpsonville, and a damn car is on fire. Like, I mean, flames going everywhere. And a higher being was telling us a 4-8 season is coming. So hopefully it's just no traffic, sun's shining, touchdowns everywhere, and we're getting all of the good omens for what will be a much, much better 2025 football season.
Yeah, that kind of segues into it's Thursday before the game. How are we feeling? We were talking about this before the show started. I was reading The Athletic every year does like a college football hope-o-meter in which they poll, fans of every single team to see how they're feeling about the upcoming season. And among the Power 4 programs, Kentucky's dead last in optimism for the season. Only 11% of Kentucky fans that they polled are optimistic heading into this season. 89% are pessimistic. That seems a little high for me, but maybe it's not. I kind of talk myself into the season a little bit as we get closer and closer, but is morale that low? Do you all feel it?
I think to Tyler's point, I think it's what everyone does you get to this point in the calendar, you just kind of talk yourself into it. Like, oh, I can see, if we win a couple 50-50 games, 8 wins is possible. But I do think it's important to just rewind the clock back to 2 or 3 weeks ago and what you thought. And I think that checks out. I think everyone, there's been a lot of dread, I feel like, for everyone entering this season. And just fatigue, for lack of a better word. And the whole transfer experiment, a lot of people I feel like just didn't even give that a chance to let's see what they can do. Now I think the optimism is starting to come around some, but that could go out of the door quickly. And I think it's really important for them to get a big win early this season to keep that alive. Because if you don't, I think that pessimism is just only going to get louder and louder and louder. And that's why I'm interested to see the crowds really in these first couple games.
Yeah, and we know for a fact it's not sold out, right? Like I meant to look at the Ticketmaster map to see.
I looked on there yesterday. It was a little better than I thought it would be in regards to availability, but also there's still, there's decent amount and you can get in the building for $20.
I got to remind myself too that the online fan base is only like a third of the fan base. And I would imagine the Kentucky subscribers to The Athletic are an even smaller portion of that. Right when the calendar was turned from July to August, I felt like I had a lot of sort of you're going to the pool or a kid's birthday party. And it felt closer to 50-50 of, people who, and they might be generally optimistic Kentucky football fans. You kind of have to if you've been doing this long enough. But I think there is a sense of hey, well, at least with this team, if it's a Mark Stoops team that runs the ball well and plays defense, then there's a chance they go bowling, which that's not necessarily, I think the last 3 years, the disappointment from those is a testament to hey, we want more than just going bowling. But if you can get back to that, then you feel pretty good about it, especially with this schedule coming up. So this will tell us a lot because a lot of the offseason was just kind of we're going to work. We're not going to say a lot. We're going to put our heads down and go to work. And it's well, that only works if there is improved production. And at least Stoops acknowledged that during Monday's press conference. He was like, we have an opportunity to change the narrative. Seemingly saying we couldn't do much to convince you otherwise in the offseason. When we go on that field, we have a chance to. And I do think that as much as people might be spooked by the big bad boys from the MAC who beat Mississippi State last year, that ultimately this Toledo game, Kentucky will look how they've looked against most Group of 5 opponents and go out and get a win that might necessarily be the prettiest, but ultimately when you look at the final score, you're oh, they end up covering by quite a bit. All right, it sounds good. Because I mean, how many of those games like it have we been sitting there and you're just like, what the hell are they doing out there? And it ends up being like, oh, well, they're kind of doing what they're supposed to do, even if it did look a little weird.
Yeah, they've mostly, I think, handled their business in this spot. And so we'll have to see what happens. To me, it's just there's so many new pieces. Like, what happens if this team gets behind early? And, like, do they have, like, what is the plan? And are they going to stick to the plan from a, like, just, like, we're going to come out and we're going to run the ball? Like, what happens if you get stopped early? Like, how do you kind of, what is your, counter punches? So from that aspect, but also for on the Stoops point, like, this is your chance because this is what you've told us is what you're doing, right? Like, you didn't try to drum up interest.
No headlines.
Yeah, so that's why I think they're all in on this. So if the wins don't come, the heat's going to come, and just see how they kind of just see. To me, like what does the temperature in the stadium get? Whether something good or bad happens.
Hopefully not over 85.
Yeah, these first few weeks, and then just how do they handle the success or the failure? I think it's going to be interesting to watch here as we start this season.
Yeah, we've got some people chiming in on the chat. Agent GSRI says, I could never feel that low going into a season. I'm too optimistic in general to ever feel that bad about anything. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Otis Hudson, also optimistic. He has faith Kentucky will go 8-4. That is very optimistic.
Yeah.
C. Wiggs 859 says Kentucky 31-14 over Toledo. So also optimistic.
It's not too different than my final score prediction.
Teaser coming soon to KSR on Friday.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Country Boy Brewing also.
Shout out.
Country Boy. So we've kind of been watching the spread all week. And I think earlier this summer when it first came out, it was like -12.5 Kentucky. And then it's kind of slowly gotten smaller and smaller. And then it was down to 7.5 Kentucky on Monday or Tuesday. Now it's back up to -10 on MGM, excuse me. So, I mean, somebody's believing in Kentucky. So clearly not the people who responded to that athletic poll.
It is kind of wild how much it has seesawed, because you might see it go in one direction, but for it to go back, I mean, 2.5 points up to 10 is pretty remarkable. And I think that's really just a testament to week one and how much people also want to just fire away. You've got all of this time, right? Because once it's week to week, you kind of go with your hunch and ride with it. I'm sure there was some early sharp money, and then there's some others. Now people are trying to middle it. But ultimately, 10 does feel closer to the right number than whatever we initially got. But it's just kind of is emblematic of our emotions as Kentucky fans going into the season, where you're kind of high, low. And I have a feeling we'll be riding that roller coaster on KS Board Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. And if you want to ride it with us, you can use the promo code UK1, right?
Yeah.
And get 2 months for $1.
Two
Can't
whole
beat
months.
that deal. So we'll wrap up the football talk because you all have talked football all week. You've done the football podcast Monday. You did 11 personnel last night. You did pigskin preview today. So if you want to go in depth on the game, those shows are all on the KSR YouTube channel and the podcast network. But tight ends seem to be a popular topic today. The Herald Leader had an article that included this stat, which is there's been only one season since 2008 in which a Kentucky tight end caught 20 or more passes. You all probably have both read the article, but if you haven't, what would you guess that season was and who the player was?
I think Luckett knows it too, right?
I mean, it's obvious. I don't want to say it's obvious, but if you think about it.
Well, I sadly have to almost know the stat offhand now. But in 2018, CJ Conrad caught 30 passes. The part that I just like got my brain going in the other direction was that it's like, well, how many players even catch 30 passes for Mark Stoops in a given year? The answer is it's usually just 2. So CJ was the second leading receiver with 30 receptions in 2018. 23 and 22 are the only 2 other seasons where you had more than 2 players catch 30-plus passes. So, like, part of it's because Kentucky doesn't run a lot of plays and they don't run a lot of pass plays. So when your tight end is your third option, they're probably not going to have like that. That's just kind of how the math works out, right? If that's your third option and you only got 2 players with 30 plus more receptions, that's kind of how it works. But Van made a great point the other day that like, not only is it an indictment on the receivers, but you actually do have a player that can be a mismatch in Willie Rodriguez. So I'm hopeful that Bush Hamden will try to utilize that out of these big packages where, in the past you had some of these bigger guys that you needed to kind of do everything. Well, now you've got some big bitches in there like Henry Boyer and Elijah Brown, who you want to be these block first guys. And then maybe you get Caddis and Rodriguez to be utilized more in the passing game.
Anytime Henry Boyer comes up, Roush has just got to say, big son bitch.
Dude, he is one of the, like, I know we give him Shiage Pete, like he is an enormous human. But the first time I saw Boyer, I was like, dude, are you real? Eat a couple more ham sandwiches and learn offensive tackle, buddy. It is a big old boy.
Now I gotta look up his stats. I gotta see how big
he's like 6'7", 265 or something like that.
He's a legit 6'7" too, I would say.
He's enormous, man.
6'6", 265. That's right. Pretty freaking big.
Yeah.
Every time I'm pretty sure Nick's even put it in print. Anytime he writes about Henry Boyer, he just has to write it.
That's that detailed scouting you can expect from KSR. Big some bitch.
You should totally go through all their shows and like, this sounds very tedious work, but like clip up every time he's talked about it for a reel, and it'd just be over and over and over. It'd be awesome. So Adam, is Willie Rodriguez going to top CJ Conrad's, or is he going to be the next person to catch 20 or more passes as a tight end?
I'd say yes, but I mean, tread maybe lightly. History tells us that it's just been hard for them for whatever reason. But if
Vince
he does,
Marrow?
But that's my next point. If he does, the new tight ends coach is going to get a lot of credit.
Yeah,
that's notice too when they mic'd up.
That's a big win for him if they could make that happen.
When they mic'd up Derek Shea, it was just 2.5 minutes of coaching fundamentals and X's and O's, and that felt very, very intentional. So
he's not just riding around the golf cart eating Fritos, Hi Vince, by the way, for watching. We miss you. We do. We wished you were at KSR the other night. That would have been a fun appearance.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun. So we'll be watching, eager to see what happens, obviously. And there's a ton more avenues to go in depth with football talk on the KSR channel. Let's switch topics to probably one of the biggest storylines of this weekend. It's Lee Corso's final college game day.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked up how many years he's been doing that. I'm sure it's as long as the show's been on.
38 at ESPN, but like game day started a few years later. But yeah, 38 years at ESPN.
That's incredible. So I have mixed thoughts about Lee Corso. I mean, everybody kind of knows him as the lovable kind of college football Dick Vitale nowadays, and he puts on the headset and all that. But for me, I can never forget that he coached Louisville and Indiana. And it feels like every time Kentucky would come up in the game day picks, he's always picking against Kentucky. And more often than that, it's because Kentucky deserved to be picked against. But it always felt like there was some kind of like twisting of the knife there. Like he never, or very, very rarely said nice things about Kentucky. So Corso's fun. I think, I wish him well. It's been interesting to watch him the past couple of years. Obviously, his health's declining. He's a lovable figure. But for me, there's still part of him. It's like, it's the Louisville coach, happy trails. But Adam, you're a big Lee Corso fan, right? I seem to remember when the news came out, you seemed pretty affected by it.
Yeah, I just think, obviously he's been a huge part of, I think anybody's college football fan, he's just been a huge part of your life. Grow up watching game day. He's been on there. To me, I remember watching that when I was 12 years old. And then I remember watching it when I'm out of college. Then I remember watching it when, I'm married and have kids. So he's a huge part of just you. I mean, you as a person almost, because he's always been there. So it's going to be weird not, seeing him there. And he was a great, he's kind of what makes college football great. He's just a quirky character. And it shows how silly sports is. He got famous because he puts on mascot heads. And that's how silly that is, but just how much joy that brought thousands, millions of people. And so you're going to miss him. I mean, it's not going to be the same without him.
The thing, I like that Corso seemingly towed the right line of goofball versus actually watching and caring about the games. Because I feel like a lot of times when you get the goofball on, which I may or may not be accused of from time to time, that there is you're just there to be the goofball guy, and we don't care what you say. But like he in his early days would provide enough analysis to go along with that entertainment. I think just most importantly of all is like some of these people in these jobs, it doesn't feel like they really like their jobs. And he clearly loves the sport of college football, went all in on it. And I've enjoyed that they've given him a very graceful farewell over the years, because he hasn't had his fastball in quite some time, but they've done a good job of adjusting and while still keeping him a part of the show. And I think it's really cool that they're going to send him out in Columbus where really it all got started.
Yeah, and like watching these clips, it's kind of sweet. You can hear my dog Remy in the background. He's clearly a huge Lee Corso fan. But you see his relationship with Kirk Herbstreit over the years. And, you know, I haven't been the biggest Corso fan like I've talked about, but their relationship is so sweet. Like, it's the way Herbstreit kind of looks out for him and cares for him. And, you know, the past couple of years, he would release these videos on social media where they would have their talks before the show began in the morning in the facility or wherever they were. And that's really sweet. And the video that came out earlier this week or last weekend, oh my God, where they're all, you know, they're doing their tribute to him. And it just starts with Kirk Herbstreit crying. Like, I almost started tearing up. Like, that is so sweet. And it's so beautiful that Herbstreit is he's comfortable being vulnerable. You know, I think that is a really, really cool and beautiful thing. So I'll definitely remember that about Lee Corso and his time on game day too. So very, very sweet. It's fun to watch these old clips. Man, yeah. Everybody's gotten older. It's crazy how that works.
And some of these mascot heads are ridiculous. I always, you know, I know people have their opinions on McAfee. Do we think that he passes the torch to McAfee to put on the headgear?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can do it again. I think like if maybe you would go to an old clip, like if it's a Virginia Tech Florida State game. Like I just said that because Virginia Tech's on the screen. Like I don't know if you can. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think you can keep doing it, but I don't know how they're gonna kind of handle that. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, especially because McAfee always just panders to the crowd, which it does give good reactions. Like imagining Saban putting on a corncob hat is very funny to me. You know, like
it would be funny. I know. Oh man, that's great. I just, it's a lot of nostalgia. It'll be lots of dusty houses around at like 11:55 or whenever they do the headgear thing for the last time. So, you know, you guys will be in the press box maybe by then. I hope you get to see it.
Who have they announced the guest picker yet?
I have not seen it.
I haven't seen it yet either. Maybe they just say, screw it. We don't need one. We've got Lee. One final ride with the coach.
They should do that. I would be on board for that. Man, there's some old headgears there. It's hilarious. Well, any more Lee Corso memories? Or
I love when they shoot off the guns and it seemingly scares them every time. That always got like the Oklahoma one. And he never looked comfortable holding it either.
It's like me at Reparino when the fireworks go off in the rafters during the intros. It gets me every freaking time. But we'll be watching. We'll probably be crying. I accidentally skipped over a topic in our rundown, and it was one of the most fun ones, prop bets. Yeah, we're excited about college football returning because it means BetMGM is going to have our backs during our betting season. Yeah. So Nick challenged us to come up with a prop bet for UK versus Toledo. I will share mine.
It might not have been the best challenge because it's, you know, it's not the top game. So like,
there aren't
we got to really wait a day to get all the good ones. Like I was looking for Zach Calzada passing yards, and that's hard to find right now.
Yeah, I've got one, so I can use a fun stat with it. So.
Okay.
Team total for Kentucky, 28.5 points. Before you kind of weigh in on that, here's some stats. In season openers, Kentucky scored at least 31 points in the season opener for 4 straight seasons. So if you go by historical tendencies, Kentucky should cover, even though we've heard all about Toledo, how, great a program they are, perennial group of 5 power, could go to the college football playoff, yada, yada. I'm generally scared to bet the over on 28.5, but I think I'm just going to do it just because, come on, if you're not rooting for points, then what are we rooting for? So fingers crossed for Willie Rodriguez touchdown. Maybe we'll have Ty Bryant return a punt or something. That would be really fun. So how are you guys feeling about 28.5 team total Kentucky?
I think if you want to play the over, the Kentucky team total over is probably the safer play, because if it's going to go over, Kentucky's going to have to score over 28.5.
Yeah. I did see that Willie is 5.5 to 1 to score a touchdown. That's juicy. But if I'm stringing together a single game parlay on Saturday morning, I feel like I have to include the Dante Dowdell touchdown just to juice it up a little bit. It's not going to be a great price, but you just know if they get inside the 5, they're going to turn around and hand it off to number 2. So I would feel pretty confident. And especially with a lot of those boosts, you got to have so many legs. It's not the greatest price, but that's one I feel like is mandatory in there. I know Luckett's more confident in one other leg, though.
Yeah, I think Toledo's going to make a concerted effort in Chip Trainum's return game to try to get him in the end zone. So I think he's plus 135 there. So that would be my one. And I'm trying to see if I can get my little parlay calculator together. Yes, that parlay that we just cooked up. Dante Dowdell touchdown, Chip Trainum touchdown, Kentucky over 28.5 points. That's over 4 to 1. It's plus 455 right now.
Nice. So, there you go.
That's not an impossible parlay either. So
the Country Boy Bet MGM shotgun wedding special.
Smack 'em, dap 'em, drink 'em, chug 'em, slug 'em,
chug it,
walk 'em up.
The shotgun wedding. Are there any interesting bets for tonight? As I'm sipping this, it is very much a fall beer. It's got vanilla beans and
that's one of those too. You're drinking out of the can. I feel like I can only do it out of like a glass. Do
you all prefer the pint glass, or do you like to drink out of the can? Because this is a big topic of debate in my family.
Depends on the mood and what I'm doing.
Yeah. And it also if I'm drinking not a light beer, I feel obligated to put it in a glass to let it breathe, because I do feel like it tastes different. Like,
it feels like you're drinking a draft beer at home to me.
Yeah.
You forget the frosted mug, pour it in there.
But every once in a while, you got to just drink the light beer out of the bottles. It's nice and cold. My issue is I have like a mini fridge, and the bottles don't, there's not as much.
They don't fit.
Yeah, it doesn't fit quite as well. So I usually got to go cans. But yeah, so the long story short is the craft beer. Like if I have the Country Boy variety pack, I will drink the Country Light or the Cougar Bait out of the can. But anything else, I'll usually pour in the glass. And the other thing I've been doing, Tyler, and it's the most South End BS ever, is instead of cutting up a lime, I just use the little lime shooter to the key lime, the Country Boy lime beer. It's
you mean lime juice?
Yeah,
that is a Jeff Foxworthy joke. Yeah, that's literally a Jeff Foxworthy joke.
I don't need a slice of lime, just a little lime juice.
If you go to the refrigerator and you grab lime juice to put in your beer instead of a lime, you might be a redneck.
That's me.
I'm like the exception. So I generally like to drink out of a can unless it's served to me in a glass. And that feels kind of redneck too. But even if we're just sitting around the house, my husband will get, a frosted glass out of the freezer and put his beer in that. And I'm like, I'll just roll with the can. I don't know why. Maybe I just enjoy holding a koozie. And I have my UK koozie that I've had. As you can see, it's got some wear and tear to it. It's pretty gross, but it's my UK koozie. I use it all the time. So I either need to get a new one. Maybe I need to get a Country Boy Brewing one, but yeah. excited about enjoying some beers with the football. Let's see. Any prop bets for tonight's games? Any good ones?
I haven't. I gotta tiptoe in.
Yeah.
It's a long week.
What are there?
I'm going to text you at 8 p.m. See if you're tiptoeing out there.
Are there any for Dane Key touchdowns?
I wouldn't do touchdowns. I would do receiving yards because
let's see what BetMGM.
It was I think it was at like 60 plus at plus money, and he's going to get his targets now. End zone, we saw over 3 years, like he'd probably have like 7 touchdowns a season tops, but it felt like he hit that 60 almost every game. So I would do yards before I would do touchdowns if I'm trying to play a Dane Key prop tonight.
Yeah, and I'm in Tennessee, which means I can't get player props. So
54.5 for Dane Key receiving yards.
54.5?
Minus 115. We talked about this on Pigskin Preview today. Cincinnati's quarterback over 215.5, so you could tag those two together. Let's see here. Tag those two together. That's a nice little 2-leg. It looks like we can't parlay on those, but those are nice two plays there in the biggest game. So I like Dane Key over 54.5, Sorsby 215.5.
Do we think Dane Key's going to have a big season?
Yes.
Yeah, is it going to be like painful to watch, knowing that? I mean, I don't feel resentful towards Dane for leaving. I mean, Dane's got to do what's right for Dane, and I don't think that was going to be, in Kentucky's offense this year, which will be mostly running. So
I think it depends on what kind of year Nebraska has and then what kind of year Kentucky has.
As long as they're not in the playoff, I'll be happy. Like, I want them to have some painful losses still, because Nebraska is a very fun team to watch meltdown from afar. It almost feels like an annual tradition. But whenever he initially went there was a lot of like, why would he do that? And it's like, well, betting on Dylan Raiola and Dana Holgerson doesn't feel like the worst bet possible. And then you get a lot of responsibility for that if it works out. So I think he'll have a big year. I just don't want it to be like, Nebraska's back, Dane Key. So, it can't be all the way there, because then it's like, all right, we're really just look at what could have been, because this Kentucky receiver room,
it's a mess.
I think for the most part, though, like, it's not even going to be like a Dane thing. It's going to be more of a Stoops criticism, right?
Yeah. An indictment on Stoops.
Yeah.
Which most things will be this fall, especially if things go the wrong way.
Right. Well, hopefully they go the right way. So we'll go ahead and segue to a different Kentucky team that's also starting its season this weekend. The UK volleyball team, ranked number 7 in the country right now. They're in my town in Nashville this weekend. They play Lipscomb on Saturday and then number 1 Nebraska on Sunday. So that's part of a triple header. We heard about it a while back when it was announced. The Broadway block party at Bridgestone Arena. So it's number 7 Kentucky versus number 1 Nebraska Sunday at, I believe, noon. And that's on ABC, which is pretty cool. Next up in the triple header is Tennessee Purdue. And then the final one is Illinois Vanderbilt. So pretty cool. I mean, volleyball, that's a huge platform. I mean, you got ABC. I don't think all those games are on ABC. No. I think it's like the family of networks, right? But I mean, they're taking over Nashville the Sunday of Labor Day weekend. That's a pretty big deal. Nick, I'll defer to you, the volleyball expert in the panel.
That's going to be they'll be there till like 8:39, because some of those games, they can get really long. You get in the 5th set, they do the halftimes and all that sort of stuff. But I actually consulted with my volleyball sources. I've got some sources close to the program. Because my big thing going into this is we knew that they were going to have awesome offense going into this. Brooklyn DeLay was SEC Player of the Year last year. And then they went and added the best player in the not the best player in the Big Ten, but the best attacker. I mean, Ava Hudson led the Big Ten in kills like 3 straight years. Something weird. If this was like if this was men's basketball, people would it would be like lead get up. What's going on with Purdue volleyball? Like, their whole team just left. And they didn't fire their coach. It's very bizarre. But Kentucky got their best player. And so, essentially, you're going to have an offense where you can have the two best outsides in the SEC on the floor at any given moment. So, like, what usually ends up happening is your best player plays the front row, and then they have to rotate to the back, and then they can only attack out of the back row. Well, they're going to be able to split them up to where one of them is going to be gripping and ripping it from the front row at any given time. So really a lot of it just comes down to, can they find the right setter? Ava, I think it's Sarafa is how you pronounce her last name. She's getting they're passing her the sticks at setter. So if she can figure it out, I know getting only one game as a tune-up for Nebraska is not exactly ideal. They got to warm up last week with a game on primetime on Fox against, I forget who it was, but I'm watching some of it. Nebraska is very good. Beating them, it's going to be tough. But it would be awesome if, like, their coach is Louisville's old coach, Danny Busman Kelly. So it'd be nice.
Right. I forgot about that.
It'd be nice to send the old Louisville coach, hand her an L, her first L as the Nebraska coach. But it's going to be a tall task because they've got two towers in the middle that are pretty awesome. So take that 1-4. Let's at least get that 1-4. If we get it to 5, then anything can happen. Crazy things can happen. But I'd like to just steal one from them on Sunday to kind of get the season, just get you feeling right. Because they do have another big one coming up right after that too. Like as soon as they play Nebraska, they go on the road and play at Penn State next week, who I don't know, won the national championship last year. So nothing coming easy. 2 Final Four teams in the first 3 games for Craig Skinner's Cats.
Well, and then you got the game against Louisville at the Yum Center on September 18th. That's not that far away. You forgot another Purdue transfer, Lizzie Carr, Andrew Carr's sister. Also came from Purdue. Shout out to her. It was cool. I got to sit down with her and her brother last season to talk about that and hear a little bit about her. So excited for that. I wish I was going to be in town. We're going to be up at the lake this weekend, but if we had been here on Sunday, I might have gone down. And very few things will get me to downtown Nashville these days, but being able to cheer Kentucky on may have been it because, downtown Nashville, man, it's especially Labor Day weekend.
Oh,
no thanks. It'll be a mess.
They're all there for the volleyball. Going to watch the game.
Yeah, they're all there for the volleyball. Forget the party wagons. Forget the $18 beers or whatever they cost now. A friend of the program, Fake Barney, was in Nashville this week for a work conference, and he was like, "Hey, I'll hit you up when I'm in town. We'll go out and do something, have dinner." I was like, "Okay." Sure enough, didn't hear from him. So I checked in on him on Wednesday. I was like, "Hey, how did it go?" He was like, "We went out in downtown on Monday night. My company or the conference or whatever reserved a rooftop." He was like, "I have never seen anything like downtown Nashville. And that's on a freaking Monday." And he was like, "I knew you all wouldn't come down because it was absolutely insane."
Oh, and the weather's nice too.
Yeah, I know. Like the weather's perfect. So if you come to town, have a blast, pack your wallet, maybe take out a loan for some of the places on Broadway.
It'd be nice weather to drive your couch car around.
Yes. My favorite topic of the day. Do we have the video, Steven? So Zach Gagan kind of broke some viral news this morning. He took a video of this couch car driving around Lexington. And I don't even think the term couch car does it justice. It's got a coffee table. It's got like a sofa table. It's got lamps. It looks like it's got plants.
Yeah, a little like
shrubbery.
Type deal. I guess the lamps are its rear taillights.
Are they the blinkers too? That would be hilarious. Like, I want to know. So if this is your couch car, let us know, because I think we need to find these people and do an interview. Like, what in the world compels you to make a couch car and then just drive around? How long did it take to make? Like, how many people were involved in this? Is it just go out like whenever the guy wants, or is it certain times a day? Like, there's an Instagram account for it. I'll look it up. But what were your all's thoughts when you first saw the couch car?
Yeah, it's like it looks like something off a Hollywood set, or like someone doing something for homecoming week and making a float and just being crazy.
Well, yeah. It really is a drunk idea come to life. What if we turn a couch into a car? The part that I like, what did the sheriff say when he took it to the county clerk's office for inspection? Like,
Or did they like?
Yeah, that thing ain't been inspected, would be my guess.
but you would have to assume that it's street legal, or he'd be getting pulled over.
Did it have a license plate? Like, what do you have to have a license plate?
I think it's one of those things, Nick, where you kind of ask forgiveness later. Like if you're just driving around, they pull you over, be like, I didn't think about it, man. We just out having
I'm just
fun,
having fun.
you know. Just made this and wanted to take. I'll get that checked out.
Oh my
Sorry
God,
about
there's
that.
a video. I'll send it to Steven. They go through the McDonald's drive-through. Oh my God. And like you get a better view of it. Wow.
I like the idea of, a lot of these neighborhoods now, these subdivisions, people just will buy go-karts and drive around.
Yeah, golf carts are big over here. Yeah,
this is a much nicer version because you can.
So,
you've got your chair wherever you're going to lounge around outside.
If I was gonna envision a guy who made a couch car, it would look like this guy.
He's got a ponytail.
I will say that.
Tommy Bahama shirt and a ponytail.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And I love that he's got like the attachment for the couch where he can just put like a side table there. Yeah. And I mean, if you're working the McDonald's drive-through that day, I'm sure you've seen some weird things, but that's got to be up there. All right. So it's got light.
Twilight.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So is the table the steering wheel?
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's what I'm wondering. How's he driving this thing?
Yeah.
How fast do you think it can go?
40.
Do you think like faster than a golf cart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he went top speed, it would.
So I'm looking at a different video. It's got seat belts, so that's good. And it's got like a video of him driving around downtown Lexington in it. That's
way cooler than the slingshots. I don't like those things.
Are the slingshots? Are you talking about like the roadsters?
The little 3-wheel deals? That looks like a cheap Batmobile.
Got the lights on them.
Yeah. I don't like those things. But the couch, that's styling and profiling.
I would definitely ride around the couch.
I mean, the fact that he has a camera rigged up just for people's interactions, that's pretty great too.
I mean, it could be a reality show. It could be like the new Cab Confession or Cash Cab or whatever that was. Oh yeah, this is it. So you get like a really good view of the seats.
Comedians in couch cars.
Where is this legal? I like that question. I also want to know. So, okay, he's turning it. That's great.
Is that the Nebraska or Northwestern basketball player Boo Booey? Like he's even getting athletes. He's even getting athletes on this couch car Lex.
That's awesome. So I had on my list, what else would be good on wheels? I mean, have you all seen like you have like the suitcases on wheels that people ride in airports, which is really weird.
Yeah, those are weird. I was down at Thunder, another South End in Mission, but I was at a Thunder over Louisville and I was riding around on a motorized cooler. That feels very South End. My kid has this like little it's like something that was clearly bought from a book fair that's like a Guinness Book of World Records and it's car stuff. And one of them is fastest toilet, like fastest bathroom setup. And they have like a bathtub in it and it goes like 45 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know if the toilet's operational or not, but it's a fun idea.
I mean, like I can understand why you might put a couch on wheels, but a toilet sounds kind of weird. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I'd sent Steven, there's like a Bud Light, the Traegerator, which I thought of Adam when I saw it. It's a grill, keg, and speaker all in one, which is insane.
Was this Gillis's Super Bowl ad?
Yeah. It's like I don't think he was in it, but it was like a celebrity kind of endorsement thing. And you can enter a drawing to win it. Yeah. So look at that. Like that's
I saw that in the store. It'd be hard for me not to buy it.
Yeah. they clearly targeted Adam Luckett's demographic.
Well, it's just like the Gillis Super Bowl commercial. When I saw that, I was like, this hits way too close to home. I feel like they're talking directly to me, or truly like they're targeting me specifically in this commercial.
Okay, well, the next KSR bonus payment, I think I know what it's going towards. It's going towards the Bud Light Triggerator. All right, so let's get into some KS board questions. Let's go. Let's see. Do we have them pulled up, Stephen? Bam, 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 bam. There we go. So South and Josh wants us to rank our 5 favorite ways to enjoy a beer. We have done this exercise in the past. That I think we can put a fun spin on it for football and fall. So if you had to rank your 3 favorite football or fall related beers, how would you rank them?
Yeah. First one would be like the beer, the first tailgate.
Yeah.
First beer when you watch Red Zone.
That's a good one.
Like the chili beer football game combo, whether you're inside or outside.
That's a very good one.
Those would be my top 3 off the top of my head.
Mine's very niche. It is the just got home from working the game and pour a beer, and it is. I look up and that thing is gone. Like it's just. And Saturday, we're having my 15th high school reunion Saturday night after the game.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, so those poor bastards don't stand a chance. I mean, they're
man.
Sorry, country boy, but you're cooked. All right, your goose is cooked Saturday night.
I would also say beer after the last mow of the year.
That's a great one. Or like beer at a stadium, but it's rare that we ever really get to enjoy that.
Well, especially the first, like when Kroger Field first got it, that felt, but because like I was being very genuine when I said like it kind of sucked that you would drink beer in the parking lot, but you felt like you had to get loaded to walk in, and then you were drinking bourbon, and like no, I just kind of want to just drink a couple beers. Like I don't want to, do the whole thing. I would just say too the cups with the little magnets at the bottom, like just getting a giant.
Those are
draft,
tricky.
getting a giant draft or one of those, like it tastes great. It really does.
Have you ever accidentally put your finger through the little magnet at the bottom and spilt beer all over yourself? Because I have.
Oh, the first time I got one, I was like, what is this in the bottom of my cup? And turns out it was the seal.
Yeah. I've done that more than once, which if you know me, I'm a very big klutz, so that's no surprise. Actually, I was putting together game day information, and they had a list of the beers that will be available at Kroger Field this year. There's like a bunch of seltzers and stuff, Michelob Ultra, Modelo, Bud Light, Yingling Light. On draft this year, Country Boy Cougar Bait, which is pretty awesome. So you can get that for $12, which that's a lot. But it's totally worth it because it's Country Boy. Lexington Brewing, I guess, has a beer they're serving this year. $11 Michelob Ultra, $9 Bud Light, $9 Yingling Lager, and $9 Yingling Flight. So those are your beer options. They also have Surfside, which is, I don't think it's technically a seltzer, but it's similar, which is like a cocktail in a can. So there you go. If you're going to Kroger Field, have fun. Those beers, I think we kind of covered them all. I think the chili beer is a great one because nothing better than like a good hearty beer with chili, like something it just screams fall to me.
Yeah, to me it like screams 4:00 Sunday NFL game, bowl of chili, a beer, and just relaxing.
Yeah. All right, let's get our next question. Who is the football player that nobody knows now that we will be talking about by the end of the season? I will let you guys tackle this one.
I don't think they know him that well, but he could be a star. McQueese Humphrey Grace. Is that one that nobody knows well enough, Luckett? Because if not, I got another one.
I think that's fair.
I would say him, which I believe he's rocking 95, if I'm not mistaken, playing defensive end. Him or Quaysheed Scott. Quaysheed Scott's got some real, like, I don't want to say Vito Tisdale vibes from, like, the off-field shenanigans, but from, like, just an electric playmaker in space out of the secondary who's going to be covered in the slot, but also isn't afraid to come up and make some hits. He's going to be a kick returner too. I would say those two are most likely. Scott's going to be rocking number 12, and Quaysheed Scott is just a fun name to say too. Like both of them have very fun names in there. Shout out to the Qs, Quaysheed and McQueese.
Yeah, those are both difficult names to say. Mike Quees Humphrey Scott is a mouthful. So feel bad for the play-by-play guy or whoever's in charge of saying that. One more question and we'll wrap it up. All right, Fedigo Ham asks, since it's opening weekend, tell us about the first time you went to Commonwealth Stadium. And I think it cut off, but he said, don't you dare call it Kroger Field. It will always be Commonwealth Stadium to him. I don't remember the very first time I went, but because I would go to games randomly as a kid. My dad would get tickets from like work. And back then, Kentucky was not good. So it was very easy to get tickets to Kentucky football games. So we started going to Kentucky football games before Kentucky basketball games. I have some distinct memories in Kroger Field, a lot of like sad Tennessee games because nobody wanted the Tennessee game tickets. So it'd be cold and raining and I would still be sitting there till the very end. So remember a lot of those, some big wins over Louisville. Wasn't there for the LSU win, but I felt like I was I have enough good memories to offset the bad ones now, thankfully. But what about you, Adam? What was your first time at Commonwealth Stadium?
September 9th, 1995. Florida a lot, Kentucky a little. Then I heard
a lot of Florida losses too.
I heard a lot of cuss words about Bill Curry. My grandpa, rest in peace, had a long-time season ticket holder. He took me to – it was one of those Florida years. I believe the year was 1995 would have been my first game. But then I got to come back. I think my second game was the next year, and I got to see them beat Georgia.
Nice.
Like an unexpected big win. So
that's very similar. But my dad had season tickets forever, and the only memory I have of my first game, and the only reason why I can place it is because, and it should have been 97. It might have even been 96 the year prior. But we left early. Kentucky was getting beat by Auburn, and I got to high-five the Auburn mascot on the way out, so that's why I remembered it. But game 2 was couch to Yeast. So
nice.
And I asked my mom, can I go touch the goalpost? No, you cannot go down there. But that was pretty awesome. So spent quite a many Saturdays in section 226. We only had 2 tickets, but they would squeeze me in and like sneak me in, and then I'd kind of share a seat on the bleachers next to him. There was some lady there was one guy who sat in front of us who wore the antennas.
The radio thing. And
he would just, nothing ever made him happy, ever. Like, was just always pissed off. And there was some other lady who would start screaming at him to snap the ball every time the clock got short. And mind you, it's row 25, section 226, upper deck. I mean, tick, 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 snap the ball. And it's like, lady, they can't hear you. But my favorite player is Marvin Love. No idea what his stats were. He wasn't that good. And the reason why I know that is anytime he dropped a pass or messed up, she would go, Marvin!
Oh man, that's awesome. We got season tickets during the Hal Mummy era. And I remember my dad got the Hal Mummy Oakley glasses. And I mean, I feel like a lot of dads did.
All the dads had them back then. Yeah.
Yeah. And we got season tickets and it was so awesome. Like got to know all the people around us. We like brought in milk jugs and put coins and rocks in them and tried to get everybody in our section to do that to make noisemakers. And like you find out quickly who you like in your section, right? You'll have the people who are totally on board, totally willing. And then you have the people that look at you like you're crazy. So, a lot of good memories, man. Those were good years. Hopefully this is going to be a good year. It seems like we got some optimism in the comments section. I appreciate that. I had to read this one from Agent GS Rice talking about those beer cans with the magnets in the bottom. He said, I saw a lady lift the cup over her head to look at it, then poke it with her fingernail and dump the entire cup over her head. Yeah. I feel that pain. He said his game was 1982 with his uncle who had season tickets in the end zone. Kentucky played Georgia, and he saw Herschel Walker. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome. So hopefully this Kentucky season brings us more memories than just seeing Arch Manning in Texas. Hopefully we get some good Kentucky football memories too. We'll be here for it all. So just so you know, programming note, KSR Happy Hour is now on Thursdays at 4:00 through the end of football season. And then we'll kind of figure out where it fits with basketball. So join us here every week, and cheers to you and cheers to Country Boy, and go Cats.